Hey YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. The title of this video is You Won't Be the Same After This Video, and you shouldn't. I've been thinking about talking about a multiple array of things in the past as far as enlightenment goes, as far as I've seen and observed and come to a conclusion of sorts, and I'm going to express it to you guys. Where your kids go to school at, where you go to work at, most if not all of the friends that you have now at present, where you go to church at, where you shop at frequently, where you're recognized or you recognize other people. And this especially where it pertains to when they recognize you, say eye contact, face to face, they recognize you. And I can name a few other places, but you get the gist of where, just general places that you may go. Restaurants that you frequent often. You must understand one thing, that you have been living in an illusion of a world. People have been playing face, and so have we. And a lot of you already know where I'm going with this. You awakened, and a lot of us are just somewhat aware. No disrespect to you. How do you know when you're awake and you're progressively awakening in different areas of your life? You know it by way of what I just said. You come to a conclusion. You become not so much satisfied, but you become convinced that the world you live in is just what I just said, an illusion. Guess where all the real people are? The people who are authentic, the people who really have a great sense of self. You'll find them in the prisons. You'll find them in the psych wards. You'll find them on the streets. You'll find them in the orphanage by way of children. You will find them oftentimes in the nursing homes to which they've been put in, because most of the time a person doesn't commit themselves to a nursing home or psych ward. Well, there are some cases where I've had people say to me they check themselves in, but that's all part of the matrix, the programming. That's like filling your prescription at the drugstore. You initially may wet your feet, if you will. If it's your first time getting a prescription, you may negate somebody to do it, or you may even do it yourself the first time. But after that, they'll give you a line of instructions on how to do it in the future. I hope this is making sense. And I hope after this video that you're not the same. You don't have the same mindset. But it's nothing to panic about. It's nothing to get uptight about. It's nothing to be indifferent about. Towards me. It's just this is my observation. This is my perspective on things. I'm okay with it. I'm not really here to discuss whether it's wrong or right, whether I'm thinking the right way or the wrong way. As I said before, I'm convinced, I'm content. I am very, very much awake and aware of what's going on for me. And I hope so for you guys too, because what you do when you draw away from all of this stuff that you see is going on around us, you become greater at your awareness. When I mean your awareness, being aware of who you are. And once you become aware of who you are, before you even get out of that bed, when you open your eyes in the morning, you will realize that your life has been a burdensome endeavor. It's been very burdensome. It's been a burden. A lot of things we wake up and do, they are most often something that caters to other people. And I'm not talking about become self-absorbed. I am just talking about shedding the fat, shedding the excess worry and concerns about having to get this or that together, put this or that together. I'm not saying change the way that you wake up and want to be able to contribute to society. Or I'm not trying to tell you to change the fact that you want to be a contributor to society. I am, in fact, trying to get you to really, really give some thought to how you approach it. And after you start doing this, man, and you start seeing all of this foolishness going on around you in the world, you will understand. You don't need to be needed. And you don't need to need, or you don't need to need the things that you thought you needed. Think about what I just said. Once you start doing that, your life becomes so fluid. Your life becomes so manageable, so sensible. I don't know if you know it or not. Most people who are in your circle need you more than you need them. They won't tell you that. No, they won't tell you that. They will, however, say, well, I need you to help me. See, that's it. I need you to help me. Rarely will they say, I just need you there. You are a very great person to be around. You won't hear that. But that first thing they say, I need you. You don't realize they're telling you the truth. But in your needing to be needed by people and things, you need to have the current fit, the current shoes. Before I get off topic, you don't need them as much as they just told you they need you. And this is in no ways trying to be grandiose or thinking we're better than anyone else. We know what we went through by way of the narcissist abuse. You have to understand this matrix of sorts. It plays on the empath. It plays on the chosen one. By design, you must form strong barriers between what you think and how you process things as opposed to how it's been force-fed to you. We've been recipients. As we're contributing to the world, we are more recipients of other people's stuff. And we don't realize we don't have to be in excess of receiving the things that people have brought on to us. We can pace ourselves. We can want what we want, when we want it, how we want it. I am passionately pleading with you guys because you guess what? I read comments. Maybe not so much comments that people give to me. However, I've read a couple. I've had a couple that were heartbreaking. I study this thing. I'm a fan. I'm a member. I'm a student of a lot of these content creators who have the goods. Iron in the Soul. Go check him out. Shout out to you, brother. My heart's heavy for this stuff, man. It's not about being emotional about it as it is being so empathetic that you often can't control, nor do you really want to. You want to go through the empathetic phase of just caring about people who have gone through similar, and then they have exceeded in respects to the abuse that I myself didn't even get to that point. I mean, it's all an emotional, psychological abuse. I get that part. But I read comments where some people are shattered. You've had content creators say this: you're a shell of a person. You become a shell of what you once was. We're going to have to stop playing around with this stuff, man. We're going to have to stop playing around and half-stepping on how we get this information, how we embrace it, how we absorb it, and how we move forward towards healing. Don't use other people as a process of your healing. Don't just jump out there and trying to do all of these beautiful, great things to take your mind off of this. Don't use those things as a process of pretending those things are not happening. You get a membership to the gym, you do it because you know that your health is in very dire need of management. Or maybe not. You may just want to stay mentally fit, and physically fit is a part of that because it lowers your stress level. Again, I'm going back to the fundamental. It's all about how you're approaching this thing now that you're awake, or even being aware. As I said before, some of us are very aware of what's going on. We have the academia or the academics of what these people are. We have it here. We have to get it here. It has to be seared into your heart that these people are playing for keeps. They're not playing around with you, man. In fact, you are a game to them, if you want to say playing around with you. End of the day, they care less about what you've lost. They care less about your emotional state of mind when they leave, or when in fact they're still in your presence. They can abuse you 1 second and then go to the dinner table and eat with you and sit there and with a straight face, like none of this never happened. Like he never called you 100 deplorable names. He'll sit there, and that's a part of the punishment with the silent treatment, while your kids that you've had by him are sitting there petrified and traumatized that dad is berating his mom who just made a beautiful meal. I grew up, my father wasn't around. I count my blessings because of that. My father was a very, very dark man. Now that I'm an adult and I can see it through the lens of me being an adult and me going through some of the stuff I went through by way of alcoholism, you get a narcissist that is not intoxicated in a sober mind per se, if there's such a thing for a narcissist. They're never in a sober mind, but I'm just talking in reference to alcohol or drug abuse. And you compound that and give them some alcohol or some drugs, you're dealing with 10 demons as opposed to the one. And I'm gonna repeat and reiterate what I told you guys in a video before. Dr. Sam Vaknin, or Professor Sam Vaknin, he may have doctorates. Go on YouTube and check him out. Don't get addicted to his channel. He knows his stuff because he is a narcissist. He's a sadomasochist, and he takes pleasure out of pain, both sexually, physically, socially, academically, psychologically. He gets a kick out of people's pain. It soothes him. He'll tell you this. He once emphasized that when an alcoholic or a person who drinks goes into an alcoholic rage, it is identical to a narcissistic rage. When he told me that, the hairs on my neck stood up, because I haven't drank in 20-something years. And so I look back at the fact of what I took my first wife through. And it's heart-wrenching. I can still have strong empathy and remorse for that. So don't get it twisted. And if you're an alcohol consumer or any other type drug or recreational drug user, I would implore you, find some space between that and get your head right. I'm not making your choices for you. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you, you already got one thing to deal with. You don't need to be distracted by dumbing down what you feel. You need to feel this. You need to go through this process. You need to mourn. You need to bury this dead body of thoughts. You need to really, really accept that you went through this and you're trying to come out of it. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about this. All of these entities and your kids going to school, don't you just invest in that school or expect that school to invest in your child's best interest. It's all full of narcissists, full of control freaks. Don't run to the courtroom thinking that you're going to get some justice from this guy who's treating you bad. If he's a narcissist, the court is the last place you want to go. It's the last place you want to go. It's a Game of Thrones to them. It's a gladiator sport to the courts. They sit back and laugh and go back in the back chambers and just, play ping pong with your life. Make you pretend like they care. There may be one or two courts or people in these places that I just named that really care, but I'm trying to tell you, thank God for those few that are there that really care. It actually, they are the overseers and the watchers of our children. So just be mindful, man. This is not a game. I need for you guys to understand this video. I hope you're not the same as you were before you started this video. Bless.